This is Chris Videos. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Videos, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. I'll be down there in the description box. And I'm here to do my WWE Friday Night SmackDown May 19th, 2023 reviews. So here we go, discussing about tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Now we kick off the show with the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, and he comes out with Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman, the Bloodline. Now the Usos are not with them tonight, coming down with them to the ring and stuff, so yeah. But yeah, here's what happened. Roman Reigns tells South Carolina to acknowledge him, and then he gets interrupted by the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They come out there, and Roman was talking about how he was actually about to call him out and wanting to tell him something and all that stuff. And then Kevin Owens was pretty much ready to fight, and Roman holds off Solo Sikoa because Solo and Kevin was about to go at it, and yeah. Roman was like, I understand you want to, your fight Owens fight and stuff like that, but nobody wants to talk to you. I want to talk to Sami Zayn. And he starts talking to Sami Zayn, talking about how they can acknowledge him and they can drop their titles in the ring and all that stuff. But he says that to Sami Zayn that he had so many ups and downs in his career, and the one biggest regret that he ever had in his career was wasting his life on him. So yeah, that's what Roman Reigns said to Sami Zayn, and then Sami Zayn was like, well, the biggest regret that I ever had was not hitting you with a chair sooner. So yeah, that's what Sami Zayn tells Roman Reigns and stuff. And they're bickering back and forth a little bit, but then all of a sudden we see Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, coming up attacking Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn from behind, tossing them out the ring and stuff. They threw Kevin Owens into the ring post, and then they hit a double super kick on the Sami Zayn, lying him out across the announce table and stuff. So yeah, the Usos laid out Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They get back into the ring, and Roman was pretty much pissed off about it. He says that, I never told y'all to come out here and do that. He said, I already had a plan, and y'all interrupted it. And then he starts getting frustrated. He turns around, starts walking away, and he accidentally bumps into Solo. And Roman looks at Solo. He's like, "Oh crap!" And Solo's just staring at him. And then Roman quickly walked out the ring. So yeah, Solo and Roman looks like they're having problems now. But yep, that's what happened there. Pretty good segment. I liked it. But yeah, really good stuff. But yeah, still to come later on tonight. The Usos will be taking on Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar, LWO, later on tonight in the tag team match. So yeah, and later on tonight we'll see Grayson Waller hosting the Grayson Waller Effect with AJ Styles as a special guest. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was the first match of the night, but before we talk about that match, we gotta talk about a segment backstage. So after the first segment of tonight with the Bloodline and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they go on commercial break and they come back on, and what happens is we see Roman Reigns backstage with the Usos, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman. So yeah, he's talking to him in the locker room and all that stuff, and Roman was like, did I tell y'all to go out there and do that to them? He said, no, I didn't. And the thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to tell Sami Zayn something, but y'all ruined it for me, and yeah, just get out. And he just kicks him out the locker room and stuff. So yeah, that's what Roman Reigns did, and yeah, he was pretty much embarrassed about what the Usos did and all that stuff, and the Usos was like, yeah, we did it for you and stuff, and Roman Reigns was like, no, you did it for yourselves, you didn't do it for me or our family. So yeah, that's what Roman Reigns was saying. But then we get to the next match of the first match of the night. It was Ridge Holland and Butch with Sheamus at ringside. Well, Sheamus is on commentary for this match. The Brawling Brutes versus Kit Wilson and Elton Prince, Pretty Deadly. So yeah, Pretty Deadly versus the Brawling Brutes in a tag team match. This match, it was a pretty good one. Pretty Deadly and the Brawling Brutes was going on pretty good. At one point, we see Rich Holland pretty much picking both of them up on his shoulders and just dumping them both on the mat and stuff. And then we see Butch grabbing Elton Prince against the ropes and stuff, and starts doing the 10 beats to the battering or whatever onto Elton Prince. And Elton Prince got pretty much trapped in the ropes and all that stuff. And then we see Rich Holland picking up Kit Wilson, and Kit Wilson pushes Rich Holland into Butch, which knocked Butch into the ring because he was like standing on the ropes and stuff, and he got knocked into the ring. The referee's dealing with Butch, trying to get him out the ring and stuff. And then we see Kit Wilson picking up Rich Holland in the spinebuster position, and then we see Elton Prince pretty much getting undone right there from the ropes, and he comes in there hitting their tag team finish move, the spinebuster and the neckbreaker combination. I need to learn the name of it because pretty much just my first time watching Pretty Deadly, but I already knew about what they was doing and all that stuff from NXT. Just haven't sat down and watched one of their matches. But yeah, they hit their tag team finish move onto Rich Holland, and then Kit Wilson pins Rich Holland for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Pretty Deadly picking up the win over the Brawling Brutes tonight in the tag team match. That's what happened. Pretty good match though to kick off Friday Night SmackDown. For that match, I'll give it 3 stars. That's why I'll give it. Pretty Deadly did pretty good. But yeah, still to come later on tonight, we'll see Grayson Waller hosting the Grayson Waller Effect with AJ Styles as a special guest. Not only that, we'll see the Usos taking on the LWO tonight, and much more. And Asuka will be up next on SmackDown. So yeah, but yeah, they did show a good video package of Superstar Billy Graham and stuff, because he did pass away 2 days ago, I think it was. So yeah, they did show a pretty good video package, a tribute package to Superstar Billy Graham. That was really cool. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. But yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was a one-on-one match. It was Asuka versus Zelina Vega one-on-one. Asuka makes her way down to the ring. Zelina Vega, before she makes her entrance, she starts getting interviewed backstage, and she says that Asuka's always saying that nobody's ready for Asuka and all that stuff, but she says she was ready at Backlash and stuff, and took on Rhea Ripley in front of her hometown and everything of Puerto Rico and all that stuff, and she says that she is ready for Asuka. So yeah, that's what Zelina Vega says, and then she makes her entrance, and then we get down to the match. This match, it was a pretty good one for the most part. Zelina Vega knocks Asuka on the second rope, hits the 619 onto her. She climbs up on the second turnbuckle and jumps off with the Meteora, the double knees onto Asuka. She pins her 1, 2, Asuka barely kicking out at 2. Asuka gets back up. Zelina Vega jumps over her with like a sunset flip, trying to pin her and stuff, but Asuka kept on kicking out, fighting back and everything. But then at the ending, Asuka locks on the Asuka lock after fighting all those pinfalls and stuff. She locks on her submission hold, making Zelina Vega tap out. So yeah, Asuka defeated Zelina Vega tonight in a one-on-one match, and then after she won the match, she wouldn't let go of the Asuka lock, and then we had the WWE Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair running down there making the save, saving Zelina Vega and chasing Asuka out the ring. That's what happened. Pretty good stuff. And then Asuka was trying to get back into the ring, and Bianca stops her, but then she tries to spit mist into Bianca's face, and Bianca blocked it a little bit. So yeah, that's what happened there. For the match and what happened after the match, I'll give it 2 stars. That's why I'll give it nothing really too special. But yeah, they got the match official at Night of Champions. It will be Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. So yeah, that match is now made official. And yeah, up next we're going to be seeing AJ Styles as a special guest on the Grayson Waller Effect up next on SmackDown. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, so we see Grayson Waller, and yeah, he comes out there and he's hosting the Grayson Waller Effect, which is his talk show and all that stuff. And then he introduces his special guest, the phenomenal AJ Styles. So yeah, AJ Styles comes out, and Grayson Waller was talking about how, they did have some beef and all that stuff when AJ Styles came down to NXT and stuff. So yeah, that's what Grayson Waller was talking about. But he says that He said one thing that always had him thinking was to be phenomenal, and you said that you've been phenomenal for over 20 years and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what Grayson Waller was talking about. And he says that AJ Styles is pretty good and all that stuff, and yeah, showing some respect and all that. But then he starts talking about the match that AJ Styles will be having at Night of Champions against Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And yeah, he was talking about that AJ Styles, that he's actually looking forward to that match between them two. But he says that he can't wait for the winner of that match, and then the ring announcer saying, "And your new World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins," showing some disrespect to AJ Styles. So yeah, that's what Grayson Waller did, and him and AJ Styles got face to face. So yeah, maybe they're going to rekindle that feud between Grayson Waller and AJ Styles. So yeah, that's what it looks like is going to be happening after Styles gets done with his match against Seth Rollins at Night of Champions, which it makes sense and all that stuff due to their past. So yeah, makes perfect sense. But yep, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff. But then after that, we see Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, and Cruz del Toro, the LWO, talking backstage and all that stuff. And they was talking about Santos, talking about how that he's grateful to be side by side with a Hall of Famer. He said he hopes one day he'll be a Hall of Famer and all that stuff. And they was talking about their match against the Usos tonight and all that. So yeah, pretty good stuff though. But yep, that's what happened there. But up next, it looks like it's going to be the Street Profits in action up next, and they'll be taking on LA Knight and Rick Boogs in a tag team match up next. So yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting. That match will be up next. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was a tag team match. It was Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, the Street Profits versus LA Knight and Rick Boogs in a tag team match. So yeah, we're going to get down to this. The Street Profits makes their entrance, and that LA Knight comes out. He got some mic in his hands, and he says that a few weeks ago he said that he is here to win titles, and that even includes the tag team titles. If he gets to find a partner to win those, that's perfectly fine by him, and he found a partner, and that is Rick Boogs. So yeah, Rick Boogs come out and they team up, and yeah, we'll get to the tag team match. And this match, it was a pretty good one and whatever. Street Profits is doing pretty good, and same for LA Knight and Rick Boogs. But then we get to the ending where LA Knight got thrown over the top rope by Montez Ford, but he lands on the ring apron. Montez Ford jumps up and kicks him upside the head, and LA Knight's still on the apron but staggering and stuff. And then Rick Boogs try to hit Montez Ford, but Montez moves out the way, and Rick Boogs accidentally knocks LA Knight off the ring apron. Montez clotheslines Rick Boogs over the top rope, and then Montez runs to the ropes and jumps over the top rope with a front flip onto Rick Boogs and LA Knight, and then Ford grabs Rick Boogs, throws him back into the ring. Angelo Dawkins is waiting for Boogs. He hits sky high onto him, the spine buster onto Rick Boogs. He tags in Montez Ford. Ford climbs up the top turnbuckle and jumps off with the frog splash onto Rick Boogs, and then pins him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, the Street Profits defeated LA Knight and Rick Boogs tonight in a tag team match. That's what happened. Pretty good match. But then, after the match ended, LA Knight gets into the ring and he gives Rick Boogs a hug and stuff and daps him up and all that stuff. But then he kicks him right in the stomach and then his blunt force trauma onto him, the BFT, onto Rick Boogs, laying him out. LA Knight gets out the ring and Rick Boogs is looking at him angry. So yeah, it looks like either two things are going to happen. Either they're going to be feuding, which looks like it's going to be happening, or they're going to be like one of those like type of tag teams or whatever. like you know, LA Knight just beats up Rick Boogs and Rick Boogs keeps on following him maybe. So yeah, maybe that could be happening. But yeah, that's what happened there. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was a tag team match. It was the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Alba Fyre, Isla Dawn, which they were making their SmackDown in-ring debut, and they was taking on two local competitors in a tag team match. And obviously, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn was dominating this match. They was beating down the girls. They threw one of them out of the ring. Another one got tagged in, but Isla Dawn straight up grabbed her and pulled her right into the ring, kneeing her in the face. And then she tags in Alba Fire, and they hit their tag team finish move where Alba Fire picks up that one girl onto her back and stuff with the glory bomb, and then Isla Dawn hits a leg sweep onto her, which is their tag team finish move onto the one girl, and then Alba Fire pins that girl for the 3 count. So yeah, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn defeated the local competitors tonight in a tag team match. That's what happened. For that match, I'll give it 1 star. I'll give it 1.5 stars. That's why I'll give it pretty good showing with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn on the main roster. So yeah, pretty good stuff. And then after that, they showed a replay of what happened last week on SmackDown with Liv Morgan getting injured and stuff. And they announced that in 2 weeks on Monday Night Raw, there will be a Fatal 4-Way tag team match to determine the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, because Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan had relinquished the tag team titles. So in 2 weeks, it will be Bayley and Io Sky Damage Control versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville versus Raquel Rodriguez and a mystery tag team partner. So yeah, that's the match in 2 weeks on Raw. But then we get backstage, and then Raquel was getting interviewed backstage, and she said that in 2 weeks that, it's sad that Liv got injured and all that stuff, but in 2 weeks she'll win back the tag team titles with a new partner and all that stuff. But she said that Liv is not replaceable. So yeah, that's what Raquel said. And then she gets interrupted by Bayley and Io Sky Damage Control. Bayley was talking about how Dakota Kai got injured last week, and she means way more than Liv and all that stuff. But she said that her and Io will win the women's tag team titles in a few weeks. But next week on Raw, if Raquel can find a tag team partner for next week on SmackDown, that Bayley and Io will be waiting for them in the ring next week. So yeah, that's what Bayley said, sending out a challenge. But yeah, up next we're going to be seeing the United States Champion, Austin Theory, up next on Friday Night SmackDown. So yeah, he'll be on SmackDown up next. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, so we had the United States Champion, Austin Theory. He makes his way down to the ring. He grabs a mic and he starts talking in the middle of the ring, talking about how he could have won the triple threat match last week and actually went on to beat Seth Rollins at Night of Champions to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. But he couldn't do that because he kept on getting double teamed by Sheamus and Bobby Lashley. They kept on jumping him and stuff. So yeah, that's what Austin Theory said. And then he starts talking about Bobby Lashley, talking about how he had to deal with Bobby Lashley on Monday Night Raw, and then as soon as he moves to SmackDown, Lashley wants to follow him. So yeah, Bobby Lashley just wants to keep on following Austin Theory. So yeah, that's what Austin Theory kept on saying. And then he starts talking about Sheamus, talking about how they got a lot of things in common. For both of them's been United States Champion, Money in the Bank winner, and all that stuff. And they both actually beat John Cena. But the difference is he beat John Cena this year, and Sheamus beat John Cena 12 years ago. So yeah, that's what Austin Theory was saying, and yeah. And then also Sheamus comes out. He gets face to face with Austin Theory. It looks like he's going to grab a mic to talk, but then he decides not to, and he just turns around, bro kicks Austin Theory, laying him out. So yeah, Sheamus lays out Austin Theory, and it looks like they're going to be facing each other at Night of Champions. It will look like for the United States Championship. That's going to be the next feud. But yep, that's what happened there. Pretty good segment though to make that match at Night of Champions. But yeah, then after that we see the Usos getting ready for their match up next and stuff. And they was getting ready, and then we see Paul Heyman coming up. And Paul Heyman wants to tell them that the Tribal Chief accepts their apology and all that stuff. But then it was like, oh, so cool, he's going to be at ringside, right? And Paul Heyman was like, no, he's not going to be at ringside because he's the Tribal Chief and all that stuff. And he's just got a lot on his plate and all that. So yeah, that's what Paul Heyman was saying. And then the Usos get mad. And it was like, alright, cool. And then they walk away. So yeah, up next will be the main event. It will be the Usos versus the LWO up next in a tag team match in the main event. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was the main event. It was Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, versus Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar, the LWO, in a tag team match. Now the rest of the LWO stayed backstage for this match. And backstage, while this match was going on, we see Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman, the Bloodline, watching this match from backstage in Roman's locker room. So yeah, that's what they was doing. But yeah, we get to the match, and this match, it was a pretty good match. It was going back and forth and everything. The LWO was doing pretty good, and same for the Usos, going back and forth. Now we get to one point where we see Rey Mysterio knock Jimmy Uso on the ring apron. I mean, not on the ring apron, onto the second rope after he done knocked Jay Uso off the apron. And, you know, Rey was trying to hit the 619 onto Jimmy. He runs to the ropes, but then he gets caught with a super kick by Jimmy. And then he tags in Jay. Jay climbs up the top turnbuckle and jumps off with a Uso splash onto Rey Mysterio. He pins him 1, 2, Rey barely kicking out at 2. And then the Usos, then Jay tags in Jimmy, and both of them climbs up on different sides of the corners. Like, Jimmy climbs up one side where they tag in and out at, and then Jay climbs up on the other side where Rey and them's at. So yeah, they climb up on the top turnbuckle about to hit a double Uso splash onto Rey Mysterio, but then we see Kevin Owens walking down the ramp and stuff, getting on the ring apron, distracting the referee. That's when Santos Escobar comes over there, kicking Jay Uso, knocking him off the top turnbuckle. And then we see Sami Zayn coming up through the crowd and stuff, and he pushes Jimmy Uso off the top turnbuckle when he got caught up on the top rope and stuff. And then Rey Mysterio Hurricane Rana's him onto the second rope. He hits the 619 onto Jimmy Uso. He tags in Santos Escobar. Rey then jumps off the ring apron with a senton onto Jay Uso, taking him out for the rest of the match. And then Santos Escobar jumps off the top turnbuckle with the splash onto Jimmy Uso, and then he pins him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, the LWO defeated the Usos tonight in a tag team match. That's what happened. Pretty good match. That was match of the night for me. I give that match 3.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. Really good match though. So yeah, that was match of the night. And segment of the night was with the Bloodline from earlier tonight, the first segment. So yeah, really good stuff for tonight's SmackDown. And then backstage we see Solo Sikoa about to get up and he's about to go handle some business out there, but then Roman keeps him seated down. He says, no, not now. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff though. For, like I said, for that match I give it 3.5 stars, and for tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown, I'll give it 7 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good episode. So yeah, that's what I'll give it. Or I'll give it 7.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a good episode. But yeah, the next week on SmackDown, they got a lot announced. AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross 1-on-1. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa will be on the KO show next week on SmackDown, and just much more. So yeah, like, subscribe to TNW Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Videos, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. That will be down there in the description box. And I'll see you guys later for this Monday's Monday Night Raw reviews. See you guys later. Until then.